There's several different reasons that this is the case. The biggest one, of course, is, and this is the most obvious one, well, obvious to folks that have been in this for a while. If, full disclosure, if you don't fully understand what I'm explaining, I'm not going to dumb this down. You're going to have to actually search around a little bit. I recommend Peter St. Onge. You know, he's a professor of economics, and he's a lot nicer than I am, and a lot more likable, like 10 times more likable than I am. And he can explain this to you in more broader, gentle economic terms, but I'll explain it in base terms. When you pay your employees, if you're a giant corporate oligarch, and you're part of the giant corporate oligarchy and the giant government oligarchy, remember they are one and the same, when you are part of that, your job is no longer to make a product that people want or that's a good product or have good customer service. That's no longer your job. Your job now is to protect the dollar at all cost. If they were to start paying people more money, right, employees more money, more dollars, then poor people, the people who work there, the working class, it's in the name, the people who actually do all the work, start paying off too much debt. When they pay off too much debt, that creates an overheated economy, right? Not to get all Dr. Evil about that, but that's what ends up happening, okay? You've heard the Harvard douchebags that show up in the suits and everything. Those are actors, okay? Those are not actual people who know what's going on in the real world. Those are paid actors to do those CNBC interviews. This is just reality, okay? And they say what their job is to use a bunch of lingo and jargon to get people to not really fully understand what they're saying, right? So when I break it down, an overheated economy is poor people paying off too much fucking debt. That's reality. The dollar is a debt-based currency. So in other words, the dollar is based on debt that's going to be paid possibly someday in the future, maybe, right? And nobody knows what that actually means. That's what that means. So with hard currency, the debt is already paid at the time you mine it. I don't care what you're mining, but it's paid at the time you mine it, and then you create a currency, and that's it. That's when you do all that stuff. So when you have a debt-based currency, it's based on sometime possibly in the future that debt is going to be paid. Now, it's never going to be paid. Okay, they're just going to keep printing money from nothing and just keep right on going. But that's what that means. So if you have a bunch of people that are making too much money and they're paying off too much debt, you end up distorting the US dollar. You end up bringing its valuation of future debt down. Okay? Sounds counterintuitive, but that's the reality.